Welcome to Blackout Blueprint, where we explore essential strategies for surviving without power. If you're ready to take control of your survival readiness, keep watching. We live in an era where the comforts of our modern lives are heavily reliant on electricity. But what happens when power fails us? Prolonged blackouts can be a daunting prospect. But fear not, because this video is your comprehensive guide to power-free living. We'll be covering everything from the potential threats posed by blackouts to the importance of securing food and water. We'll also delve into how you can fortify your home and maintain communication in a power-free environment. So, if you've ever wondered how you can prepare for a blackout, this is the video for you. Stay with us as we delve into how you can overcome the challenges of a power-free life. Blackouts are unpredictable and can strike at any time, disrupting our everyday lives. Imagine this. You're in the middle of preparing dinner, the television is on in the background, and suddenly, everything goes dark and silent. That's a blackout, folks, and it can last from a few hours to several days, even weeks in severe cases. Now, why should we concern ourselves with blackouts? Well, they're not just about sitting in the dark or missing your favorite TV show. The repercussions can be far-reaching. Without power, our modern world grinds to a halt. The lights go out, sure, but so do our refrigerators, heating and cooling systems, and water pumps. Communications can break down as mobile networks and internet connections fail. Even our transportation systems can be affected, with traffic lights and electric cars left powerless. In more severe scenarios, prolonged blackouts can lead to a breakdown in social order. Think about it. No power often means no security systems. Stores can't operate, ATMs don't work, and emergency services are stretched to their limits. That's when things can get really dicey. But it's not all doom and gloom. You see, being aware of these potential dangers is half the battle. Blackouts, whether caused by storms, cyber attacks, or infrastructure failures, are a fact of life in our technology-dependent world. But with the right knowledge and a little preparation, we can navigate these dark times successfully. So what can we do? We can prepare. Preparation is key to surviving a blackout. It's about having a plan, stocking up on essentials, and knowing how to use what you have when the lights go out. This isn't just for the survivalists among us, it's for everyone, because let's face it, we never know when the next blackout might hit. Understanding the threat is the first step to being prepared. Now let's move on to survival essentials. Water and food are the bedrock of survival. In a prolonged blackout, securing these becomes paramount. When the power goes out, the clock starts ticking. Refrigeration fails, water purification plants halt, and the grocery store shelves empty. So, let's talk strategy. First, water. The average person can survive for about 3 days without water, but that's in ideal conditions. In a high-stress situation, your body needs more. You'll want to stockpile at least 1 gallon of water per person per day for at least 3 days. This amount accounts for drinking, cooking, and minimal hygiene. But what if the blackout extends beyond a few days? You'll need a plan for that too. Collecting rainwater, filtering water from natural sources, or even melting snow if you're in a colder climate are all viable options. You can purify water by boiling, using purification tablets or a portable water filter. Next, food. When it comes to food security, think non-perishable, nutrient-dense, and easy to prepare. Canned goods are a great choice as they have a long shelf life and often come ready to eat. Just remember to stash away a manual can opener too. Consider stocking a variety of canned vegetables, fruits, and proteins like beans and chicken. Dry goods like rice, pasta, and oats are also excellent for long-term storage. Don't forget about ready-to-eat meals like granola bars or freeze-dried camping food. They might not be gourmet, but they'll keep you going. And remember, you'll need a way to cook. A camping stove or a grill can be a lifesaver. Keep enough fuel for your chosen cooking method on hand, and make sure you know how to use it safely. Lastly, make sure to rotate your food and water supplies. Use the oldest items first and replace them with fresh supplies. This ensures that when a blackout hits, you're not stuck with expired goods or stale water. Now let's talk about storage. Keep your supplies in a cool, dry place. And remember, water is heavy. Make sure your storage area can handle the weight. A blackout can turn life upside down in a heartbeat. But with careful planning and preparation, you can stay well-fed and hydrated. Remember, securing your water and food supply isn't just about survival. It's about maintaining your health, your strength, and your ability to think clearly in a crisis. It's about giving yourself the best possible chance to weather the storm and come out the other side. With food and water secured, your chances of survival increase dramatically. But what about shelter and security? In a blackout, your home is your fortress. But how do you fortify it without power? When the lights go out and the world around you falls into a deep, enduring darkness, Your home becomes your haven, your sanctuary. However, it's essential to realize that without the usual power sources, protecting your home can become a challenge. First things first, let's talk about fortification. Now you might be thinking, I'm not living in a castle, how am I supposed to fortify my home? Well, it's simpler than you might think. Start by reinforcing entry points. Doors and windows are the most obvious ones. You can use anything from heavy furniture to thick plyboards to barricade them. Remember, the goal is deterrence. You want to make your home look less appealing to any potential threats. Next, let's consider light. Yes, there won't be any electricity, but that doesn't mean you have to live in total darkness. Candles, oil lamps, or solar-powered lights can help you navigate your home safely and can also signal that your house isn't an easy target. Now, what if you're not at home when a blackout hits, or your home isn't safe for some reason? That's where makeshift shelters come in. Cars, for instance, can be a decent temporary shelter. They're mobile, they're relatively secure, and you can keep a survival kit in the trunk. Just remember, don't run the engine for heat in an enclosed space. It can lead to carbon monoxide poisoning. If you're in the great outdoors, consider natural shelters like caves or dense forests. But always check for signs of animals or other hazards before settling in. If you have a tarp or a large trash bag, you can create a rudimentary shelter by tying it between trees or using it as a ground cover. But securing your shelter is about more than just physical barriers. It's also about being aware of your surroundings and staying vigilant. Noise traps like cans tied together or loose gravel around your perimeter can alert you to any unwelcome visitors. And finally, a critical part of shelter security is fire safety. Without the usual safety systems in place, a small fire can quickly turn into a disaster. So if you're using candles or cooking stoves, never leave them unattended. Keep a bucket of sand or water handy for emergencies. So there you have it. Whether it's reinforcing your home, creating a makeshift shelter, or setting up noise traps, there are plenty of ways to secure your shelter during a blackout. Remember, the goal isn't to build a fortress, but to create a safe, secure space where you can ride out the blackout. A secure shelter can be a lifesaver during a blackout, but survival isn't just about isolation. So tune in for the next part of our series, where we'll discuss the importance of communication and community in a power-free environment. Communication is a lifeline. In a blackout, it becomes even more critical. When the lights go out and our digital devices go silent, communication can suddenly feel like an insurmountable challenge. But it's in these times that reaching out and staying connected becomes even more vital. It's not just about keeping in touch with loved ones. It's about pooling resources, sharing information, and building a strong, resilient community that can weather the storm together. In a world without power, the ways we communicate need to adapt. Cell phones and internet connections may be unreliable or non-existent, so we need to look to the past for solutions. Remember the humble radio? Battery-powered or hand-cranked radios can become a beacon in the dark, a source of news, updates, and vital information when other channels are down. And let's not forget about ham radios. These devices, beloved by amateur radio enthusiasts around the world, can transmit and receive signals over vast distances, providing a lifeline when most needed. But communication isn't just about talking, it's also about listening. In a blackout, information is a precious commodity. It's important to stay informed about the situation at hand, whether it's updates on power restoration, news about local resources, or warnings about potential dangers. And then there's the power of the human voice. Talking face-to-face, sharing stories, offering comfort. These simple acts can do wonders to lift spirits and foster a sense of community in challenging times. When the lights go out, our words can illuminate the darkness, bringing us closer together. Communication is also a key element in building community resilience. In a blackout, your community becomes your lifeline. Neighbors can pool resources, share skills, and provide mutual support. It's about more than just surviving. It's about creating a network of resilience that can help everyone thrive. So, how do you maintain contact and coordinate resources in a blackout? It starts with planning. Know your neighbors, establish a network, and make sure everyone knows how to communicate in a power-free environment. It could be as simple as setting up a regular meeting point or establishing a system of signals or messages. The key is to have a plan in place before the lights go out. In times of crisis, it's easy to feel isolated. But remember, you're not alone. By reaching out, staying connected, and working together, we can turn a blackout from a crisis into an opportunity to strengthen our communities. So, Dust off that old radio, get to know your neighbors, and start building your communication and community resilience plan today. Staying connected and working together can make the difference between thriving and merely surviving. But remember, preparation is key. In a blackout, every second counts. The more prepared you are, the better your chances of survival. As we wind down this in-depth look into power-free living strategies, let's take a moment to recap the key points we've covered. We began this journey by recognizing the very real threat that blackouts pose. Whether it's a storm, a cyber attack, or a grid failure, the disruption to our everyday lives can be significant. Being prepared is not just a choice, but a necessity. We then moved on to discuss the importance of water and food security. Clean water and non-perishable food supplies are the backbone of survival during a power outage. We discussed practical tips for storing and purifying water, and for stocking up on long-lasting food items. Remember, you can live for weeks without food, but only a few days without water. Next, we turned our attention to shelter and security. In a blackout scenario, your home is your fortress. From fortifying your premises to creating makeshift shelters, we explored various ways to keep you and your loved ones safe. We also stressed the importance of being vigilant against potential threats that may arise in a power-free environment. Communication and community resilience followed, underscoring the need to maintain contact with loved ones and coordinate resources within local networks. In a world without power, the ability to communicate effectively can mean the difference between isolation and communal strength. Now, as we reach the conclusion of our blackout blueprint, remember that preparation is the cornerstone of survival. It's about understanding the threats, knowing your options, and having a plan. It's about not just surviving, but thriving in a world without power. Adaptability is key. Things may not always go as planned, and that's okay. Be ready to change your strategy if necessary. Remember, the goal is to keep you and your loved ones safe, no matter what. While we've covered a lot, there's always more to learn. I encourage you to keep expanding your knowledge and skills. The more you know, the better equipped you'll be to face any blackout scenario head-on. Start implementing these strategies today to ensure you're ready for any blackout scenario. Subscribe for more survival tips and share this video with fellow preppers and survivalists. Your journey doesn't end here. Continue learning, continue preparing, and most importantly, continue believing in your ability to overcome any obstacle. Remember, preparation is not about fear. It's about freedom. The freedom to face any situation with confidence, knowing you've done what you can to secure your survival and the survival of those you care about. Stay safe, stay strong, and keep on prepping.